Alright guys, welcome back. This is Oceanic Gaming's Rumble in the Oceanic Jungle. And this is our round 4, 9th Legion Gaming versus Hampocalypse. And we're in the lobby now and setting up. And this promises to be a really good game. There's a challenger in here, there's some diamonds and a lot of plats and a couple of golds, and it's going to be a really good game. And I'm joined by my co-caster, EXS Shadow. What's up, man? How's it going?
Hey bro, pretty good. Looking forward to this game.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool. So, IXL Hyunji, so 9th Legion Hyunji is our challenger. And I hope he's going to show off some of his skills. I've seen him play some AD carry before and it is really strong, so it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, some really strong players on their team. Quite familiar with a few of them, so big things expected from them, but it could be a very close game regardless. Both teams are pretty strong.
And it looks like we are going to be starting very shortly. All 10 players are in and the ready calls are coming out. So it's going to be a really good one. Kratos is asking, can we only stream Royal Chocobo's games? We have already streamed one of Chocobo's games and they did win the one we watched. And what we're doing today is, for the round robin, we're trying to stream every single team, just to be as fair as humanly possible. And all the strong teams are going to be playing tomorrow in the semis and grand finals. So today you get a taste of what New Zealand and Australia has to offer, and tomorrow you're going to see the cream of the crop, as it were. Alright, and we are into Champion Select. So do you think these teams are doing targeted bans from what we see so far?
That Sejuani ban's kind of rare these days, so that could definitely be a target ban.
I'm not sure.
Maybe a couple of patches ago, but
the jungler for Hampocalypse is, but it could definitely be a targeted ban out to him.
For sure, I don't really know much about these teams or these players, so yeah, definitely could be. Because it's a fairly standard-ish ban, but again could be targeted.
Cassidon and Vayne, alright, so they're probably not targeted bans, you just don't ever want to play against them and let them get fed, so pretty standard there as well.
Yeah, standard from that side, for sure.
Alright, I've got insider information. I'm being told that it's not a targeted ban on the Sejuani. Apparently they just do not like the Sejuani.
Fair enough.
Alright.
Don't really like facing Sejuani myself. Very strong champion, locks up your entire team.
I have a friend that refers to it as the worst Amumu, because it feels like everything that Sejuani does, Amumu does like sort of better. I'm not sure if I agree. Like,
I would say it's the other way around.
Do you reckon
like everything
Amumu the worst
does, Sejuani does better?
Oh my god! All right.
Definitely.
Shots fired. Yeah. Honestly, they're very similar champions in the way that they do their clear and the way that they start team fights. It's pretty cool to see.
Cool. Again, with the Caitlyn ban, I wonder if that's targeted. It could just be a generic ban. Caitlyn's not hugely banned, but she does come up sometimes.
Yeah. But banning Caitlyn means that you can take some AD carries that are a shorter range, and they have a very hard time against Caitlyn. So, for instance, I'd say Tristana is one of those champions that you just can't play against Caitlyn. It's just not very fun at all.
That Vayne too, but Vayne of course is banned out. Nautilus being picked up first.
Yeah, and it also lets you play other champions like, I don't know, Ashe, which we've seen a lot of today, and you know, all that good stuff. So Nautilus has been insta-locked, and he's a pretty strong high CC jungler. I read somewhere that he's one of the only champions in the game that has 4 forms of CC. I think maybe Leona does as well. Because he has what? His passive is a snare and his Q is a hook.
He is the only one actually.
Oh wow, okay.
Leona has 3. A couple of people have 3, but...
So he's the only one with 4. Nice.
Unless anybody can correct me.
So he is the CC king of League of Legends.
He really is.
So the Caitlyn was banned out, which means that Tristana is able to be picked. And that really is just a respect ban, I guess. You don't ever want to be in that lane. Tristana has 550 range. Caitlyn has 650 range. Which means no matter what you're doing with Tristana, Caitlyn has that range on you. And if you've read Doublelift's latest blog, I'll try to find the link for you guys in a minute, he talks about range leashing, which is basically abusing your extra range on champions that have less range than you. And that's what makes Tristana and pretty much all AD carries that are against Caitlyn miserable. Because you just can't do anything, and it's a horrible place to be in. And we're seeing a Corki being picked to play against this Tristana, so that should be a cool.
Very interesting pick. Haven't seen Corki in a long time. Really fallen out of play, but a couple of buffs in last patch put him in a little bit of a better place. Interesting to see how that works out for them.
Alright, so your crowd favorite, your Elise has been locked in?
I'm not thinking that's a jungle Elise at this stage, but definitely still a very strong laner.
Yeah, because Zach's been picked as well. I like heroes that like that. If you lock in, like, say, a Cho'Gath, you don't know if he's going to be played mid, top, or in the jungle. So it kind of frees up your picks later on, and it's very hard to counterpick when you don't know where they're going to go. So both Elise and Zach are a little bit like that. They're very interchangeable in which lanes they play in. So I'm quite lucky how they drafted it out. And it looks like we might even have a LeBlanc being locked in.
I'm really holding out for that LeBlanc. They're hovering over it. They might be trolling us, but I'd like to see it. LeBlanc, a fairly strong pick against Ari. I kind of doubt it, yeah. Ari.
Have you seen Faker play Ari in the OGN summer playoffs? Oh my god. That guy is he is a deity. I would watch a statue of Faker. He gets something like 400 CS in 30 minutes.
Yeah, a good Ari is just so
It's just
amazingly
disgusting.
strong.
It's ridiculous. So I have a whole new respect for Ari. So I'm glad we're seeing one play. So it looks like we'll talk about what the lanes are in 35 seconds once we've revealed the summoner spells, because I don't want to reveal any information before everything's locked in. But and then we can talk about the lane matchups. So yeah, I'm liking the Ari pick. I'm liking the Renekton pick. If it is Renekton against Zach or Elise, who do you think he fares better against? If you were playing Renekton and you're up against one of those two, who would you choose?
He's gonna have a hard time, really, for either lane. I think he might do a little better against Elise early game, but either way, it's not a great matchup for him.
No, I completely agree with you, and the delay has ended, so we can talk about summoner spells now. So it is going to be a Zac in the jungle. No big surprises there, I guess. I mean, we have seen Zacs in the top lane, but Elise is still by far the more popular pick there. So that is going to be HP percentage damage being brought to you by Elise, which means that Renekton is probably going to have a hard time stacking that Sunfire Cape like he usually does, because he will get punished for it.
Yeah, he's going to have to opt for some early MR, and that's going to set him back a little bit on damage, and just generally he would prefer to build that Sunfire and whatnot.
Yeah.
Elise does struggle a little bit in lanes due to relatively high mana costs after a couple of nerfs, but she should still be okay as long as she's smart about it and cause him quite a bit of trouble.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Alright, so looking at these team comps on just a 5v5 team fighting level, who would you give it to in a team fight? Do you feel like these teams are built very evenly, or do you feel like some team has an advantage in a team fight?
Kind of interesting team comp coming out from blue team. Kind of all over the place. I think overall they've got kind of stronger picks, but I do see that Orianna and Zac on the purple team, and that is a scary, scary combo with the ults. If he jumps
Bringing the wombo combo, yeah.
If they can work that and get that to work out, that'll just be brutal. So we'll be looking out for that, and also the Nami ult to follow up.
Yep. All right. So I think we should point out is that Zac is probably the only tank that Hampocalypse are going to be playing. I mean, you can build in a tanky Elise, but it's much rarer to see. But conversely, 9th Legion Gaming have both a Nautilus and a Renekton to be the frontline. Do you think that's going to make a huge difference, having one tank against two? Or do you think it's something that Hampocalypse can like get past and get onto that Tristana and get onto that Ari, like the high priority targets?
Well, a lot is going to come down to Renekton getting through that early game. He's going to have a rough time in lane, and if he can get to a tanky stage, that might be a big game changer, having that extra tankiness. They do have Thresh, of course, too, who's reasonably tanky, so they definitely have a little more beef.
Yeah, most definitely. And what we've seen in itemization for Aries is usually a very fast Death by a Grasp into a Abyssal Scepter. And I feel like we're going to see that again this game for Dawe. And that's just because there's a lot of magic damage coming out from Hampocalypse. I feel like every single champion on that team has an AP scaling, and that's just going to be the item to go for Dawe. And that means that Ari's going to be quite tanky after she gets the Abyssal, and she's going to have a lot of damage with the Death by a Grasp. And this is just hypothetical items, but I feel like that's what we're going to see. And I reckon that's going to be really effective. Conversely though, if Oriana and Zac just pull off their combo. It's just complete chaos. It's so hard to play against. I think we're going to see a very close game just based on this draft. And I think a lot of it is going to be very dependent on this laning phase. Because you snowball out of the laning phase, it doesn't really matter how strong your picks or your bans were. Because you've let the advantage slide away from you. So these teams are probably going to be looking to play like a very tight laning phase, in my opinion. And we are into the loading screen, and we get to see what fancy skins these guys are rocking today. And we do see an Earthrider Corki, and that is one cool skin. Definitely the best Corki one, even better than his legendary. Not a huge fan of the Red Baron. I do like floating around on a seal though. Bladecraft Oriana as well is a very cool skin. And we're seeing sorry, yep?
I think you'll find that's a manatee.
Is it a manatee? Oh right, yeah it is. I said a seal, didn't I? Oh, sorry guys. I'm not up to my...
all the Earth fans out there. I'm still hanging out for them to release Earth. It'll happen.
It'll happen one day. Alright, and we've got Foxfire Ari on Darway, which is a very cool skin, and Hyunji, my favorite skin for Tristana, is Rocket Girl. So, we've also got an Astronautilus as, I'm not sure how to say this, Exokazi. I feel like that's probably a Korean EXO, so I'm not going to try to pronounce that. I'm sorry, friend. If you have time at some point, type in the phonetic pronunciation for me so I don't mess up your name. But yeah, some cool skins coming out. No huge curveballs being thrown by the summoner spells. Do you reckon it was a good decision for Earthrider Corki to take a cleanse against their team comp?
Quite an interesting pickup. I can understand it. See how it works out. It might put him a little behind in the laning, so you're gonna have to watch for that.
Yeah, just that barrier is just so useful in the laning phase. It's always so hard not to take it. I feel like I'm almost forced into taking barrier every game.
Absolutely. Of course, the cleanse will remove that exhaust if Thresh gets it on him, but Corki being quite reliant on his abilities more than his auto attacks early game, especially his ult, he might not have been so troubled by the exhaust regardless. That's
true.
It will help, of course.
Alright, so Astronautilus versus Zac ganks. Do you have an opinion on who's more effective? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that I feel like Nautilus he really is the CC king. I feel like if there is an award to spot him coming around for a gank, he's just going to be able to lock people up and be that huge monster tank that we always know and fear. And Zac, he has harder ganks, but he can be very sly and sneaky. He can jump over walls and jump over cliffs and just be a green blob. It's pretty good fun.
Looking at blue team, I am seeing quite a lot of disengage, so he might have quite a bit of trouble ganking. Comparatively, purple team are not so great at getting out of those early ganks, especially against all that CC that blue team is packing in.
That's true. Alright, so we've got to
play very smart.
Couple of pings coming out from both teams. They've got an idea of what they want to do level 1, that's definitely for sure. So blue team is grouped up and they're heading towards Hampocalypse's blue buff. And it could be an invade, it could be a ward. Zac is already there, so he's going to spot them if they come down. If Tristana runs in there and face checks, she could get some damage on her. It looks like Zac isn't going to react though. Ari Bowl does spot everyone as well. Yeah. It's still coming though, that's very brave. Looks like they want to get the ward in. And the ward is good, and I think they might all just walk away. I think the ward was the objective they're looking for, rather than the team fight. Yeah, and it does look like...
pulling right back out.
Yeah, 9th Legion Gaming got the ward in, and they walked away.
Interesting to see what their plan is with that. If they're just going for a steal, or they want to know where the other team is going. They might be looking for the lanes to see if they're going for a 2v1 top, or something like that.
Yeah, most definitely. So it looks like it's going to be... red start for Nautilus, which says to me that he's gonna clear red, clear blue, and then gank top. That's a very standard gank path.
Yep, no surprises there. He does get that harder leash by starting at red, so that'll help him out though.
If you guys were unfamiliar with how to do jungle in the current meta, you pretty much start wherever your AD carry and support are closest, because they can give you help with the buff. You can do your path backwards for most people. So from red to blue to gank top, instead of ganking, starting from blue to red to ganking bot or whatever, depending on which side you're on. So Zach is starting blue himself, closest to the AD carry and support, and it looks like VSN and Darway are looking to steal this away. They do have a ward. The hook is good, but Zach smites it. That's actually a win for both Thresh and Ahri, in my opinion. He has to blow that smite early, and it means he's going to have a slower red buff, and it is more available to an invade.
It's going to put him a little bit behind on time. Maybe they could have waited to just try and go for the last hit rather than just pull it, but it's definitely going to put him behind, so that's okay.
Yeah, most
Nautilus
definitely.
Is going to have a smite for blue, so he'll be a little bit quicker to gank that top lane, but we could still see both of them reaching top at a fairly similar time.
Yeah. I'm not sure why Nautilus took so much damage on that red cap, but he's already choked through 3 HP pots. It could be something to do with runes or masteries, but or insufficient leash actually. VSN actually eats the bubble in the bot lane, but nothing's going to come from it. Corki wasn't there to follow it up. I think he would have taken too much poke from Tristana if he attempted to. And Zach
coming into top lane.
Elastic Slingshot is good, but a nice slice and dice from Shudafu gets away.
Nautilus actually ganking mid, gets the hook.
Ori's already flashed. This could be our first blood coming out. The Ignite is
very
down.
low. She's actually going to go down. That is first blood on the Nautilus.
And that's good for Nautilus as well. He'll get ahead, he'll be able to go back and buy a Spirit Stone, or maybe even a Ruby Crystal to start it off, depending on what items he wants. And yeah, well played by both the Ahri and the Nautilus. Orianna was holding a ward but hadn't put it down yet, and you probably don't want to do that against a Nautilus jungle, because he is going to punish you for it.
Absolutely, and that is what happened. That's going to put Nautilus in a really good place. He'll be able to get tanky, he'll be able to get those probably mobility boots fairly soon, and just be a huge ganking powerhouse.
Oh yeah, Nautilus with MOBA boots is such a scary thing, because he can lane gank, because he has that kind of move speed, and you don't ever want to be caught out by the hook. And if all the lanes have so much CC, Thresh Hook, Ahri Charm, and Renekton's stun, I'm forgetting what it's called, Ruthless Predator. So he has a lot to go on, and like, if he does come to gank as well. So the CS is fairly even at the moment. Every one of Ninth Legion's lanes is slightly ahead, but not by too much, not by anything critical. But we are seeing a 700 gold lead, and that's just a little bit of CS and that first blood.
Yep. Zach was looking to gank mid, he's pulled out though. Interesting to see where he goes for now. Probably going to go back top because bot lane is all warded up.
Yeah, most
Very hard to
definitely.
make play against Tristana too. Bubble actually hitting Tristana, but they don't do anything with it.
Nah, he was trying to CS under the turret, and Nautilus is snuck in there. Gets a nice hook on the Elise. So much damage coming down. I think the Ignite is going to be good, but Chudafu flashes in to get the Q off anyway. And that is one dead Elise. Wow,
Really
nice
nice
bubble
play.
coming out from Nami. And both Koki and Tristana have gone quite low.
However, Nami is sitting fairly low herself, so they're going to have to be really careful if they get engaged on by Thresh Hook.
If VSN lands a hook, there's going to be a lot of trouble.
Of course, if she does land that bubble on Triss, that is going to be a dead Triss, so both teams looking to play very safe, just waiting for that skill shot.
Yeah. VSN actually puts down an aggressive pink ward. Nami has already spent her pink ward somewhere, and the hook is good. The bubble actually lands on Whacked NZ to give him the movement speed boost. That was an interesting use of the bubble, but I respect it. If you guys didn't know, Nami, every time she applies an ability to a friend, it gives them a move speed steroid, and that includes the bubble as well, so good use of...
that's every ability, including the ult, so if you want to send your ult through onto their whole team,
Do it
straight
through
to
your team. Oh, nice.
you will speed all 5 of your team up if you can get it, and hit
Pro
them all
tips.
up, so them
Oh, and Corki forced to use his flash and his cleanse. Gets a really nice hook by VSN there in the bot lane. And Kyunji's actually flashing under turret for it, taking so much damage at the moment. I don't think Nami's in a position to... Oh, Nami's actually going to go
doesn't
down.
quite get him, but Nami, no, actually, she's still alive. Thresh is still getting hit by the turret. Tristana very, very low.
Very, very low. Nautilus is actually coming in to try to secure the kill. Kyunji wants to get an explosive shot off for the...
And nice play by Nami there, actually picks up Tristana, but
Yeah, I think
Does
Corki
go
was
down.
coming back in for it as well. And that was well played by Ninth Legion, but also well played by Hampocalypse to get a kill in retaliation there. That was support for AD carry, and I would take that trade any day. So Corki gets the lane to himself for a little bit. He's going to go in and probably farm it up and get the CS back in his favor. It's 50 to 43 at the moment in favor of Hyunji on his Tristana, but WagTinZ is close behind. So I think it'll be absolutely fine in this lane. When he goes back, he doesn't have enough for a BF sword item. I'm not sure what items he was aiming for, but Hyunji, with that assist and a little bit better CS, he has enough for a BF sword on his first back. So that's a huge power spike for Tristana.
Corki's gonna have a really tough time now. He isn't too far behind on CS, but like you said, that power spike.
Yeah, and
he has actually opted for the boots.
yeah, I feel bad. I hate being in that position as Corki, or as any AD carry really. If they have completed a BF sword item and you can't, there's just very little you can do in terms of trading. They're always going to win the trades. BF sword offers you a flat 45 extra AD, and Corki's coming back into lane with another 10 AD and 10% lifesteal, and it's just not enough to trade efficiently. So it's going to be Hyunji's lane for quite a little bit until that BF sword item is completed for WagTinZ.
Nectin trying to make a play on the red buff from purple team. Both teams were just backed off. Nope, they're still going for it.
This is actually level 7 Renekton against level 5 Zac. So he does have the control and the power at the moment to make this harder than it has to be for Zac.
And a very nice good deep ward over there, despite it being so early in the game. That's giving him a lot of power. He knows where Elise is at and can just slow Zac down even more. Zac's still level 5.
Renekton early, after the Nautilus killed the Elise, they pushed it and it pretty much ended up with a very early turret. And that's a bit of a gold advantage, and that's definitely a map advantage as well. Not having the turret to hide behind, not having the vision as well. Big fight on the dragon. A nice Orianna ult into Corki, getting the kill.
Nobody really going for it. Zac does get it though.
And Zac actually takes it away, and that was not with Smite. That was just with Zac auto-attacking it. And that was definitely in Hampocalypse's favor. Well played.
2 kills and the dragon. Huge, huge, huge for them. Bringing them right back into it. Only a 500 gold difference now.
And that's absolutely nothing at this point in the game. So well played by Hampocalypse, really punishing them for doing that cheeky dragon. I'm just checking to see, but Orianna ended up with a blue buff, and I think that was stolen away from the Ahri as well. And WagTinZ on Corki ended up with a red buff. And he has enough gold at the moment to go back and buy his BF sword, so he's going to be very happy with himself. I'm wondering if he is aiming for that Bloodthirst or Infinity Edge for first item, but he's definitely going to get something, which is always good. So how does Hampocalypse stop Chodafun on this Renekton? I'm not sure what answer that Elise can offer at the moment.
Well, Elise scales very, very hard with levels. She is level 8, and she's faring a little better as she goes up. Actually, bot lane Corki getting caught out.
As well as the Nami. Nami does get busted shot under the turret, and both of them go down, so
That's
well played.
really, really big.
That was just Nautilus walking in with not adequate ward coverage, no summoner spells were up, and they just took their 2 kills for free, really. They didn't back
And
after
they
that
took
dragon fight.
back.
Yeah, and it looks
Actually,
like...
what happened there was Corki was about 100 gold short of that BF, so he stayed around, and that really cost them, because he did want to pick up that BF. Top lane, Renekton going very low. Actually, Elise doing massive work now at level.
And she does pick up the kill in a 1v1 without inside influence. Well played by Leviathan.
Yeah, so as I was saying earlier, that Elise just really needed those levels, and now she's going to be in a much better place to 1v1 that Renekton, and he's actually going to face even more trouble, while in mid, Orianna's getting caught out.
Yeah, has to flash away. Zac now taking a lot of damage. Dalway's been pretty on point with his charms, and Bozzy is having quite a bit of trouble. She has opted for that Athene's Unholy Grail first item. That doesn't help too much against Ahri, in my opinion. If you guys didn't know, Ahri's Q, her Orbs of Deception, on its return travel, it does true damage. So it's very hard to itemize against true damage. You basically have to stack HP, which is very hard for an Orianna to do. So yeah, it's a hard lane, in my opinion.
Very, very hard. And are just generally doing a hell of a lot of damage anyway.
That's true.
Very
And
big at the moment.
we're seeing a Fiendish Codex being picked up. So what would you reckon that first item is going to be for Ari?
That is almost definitely building into that DFG, which now builds out of the Fiendish Codex. Used to build out of the Kegi's Lucky Pick.
Yep.
Not anymore. So almost definitely that's what she's going for.
Yeah, I feel like they saw what the Korean Faker did, and they're just gonna mirror it. And why not? It works so well. That means Ari can pretty much 1v1 anyone on the map, and it gives her the ability to split push and just be an absolute menace. So I'm reckoning that DFG is a really good pickup, and we're gonna see an extended siege here in the mid lane. Hampocalypse's turret is very low. They're actually 2 turrets to 0 at the moment. So 9th Legion Gaming.
Nautilus actually going top while the team is mid. Doesn't.
Oh, misses Ganker. I'm not sure that was much of a juke. Just missed it.
Nami ult coming out, knocking all 3 of them up.
Zac ult into Orianna. Come on, Shockwave. So much damage. The bubble lands on the Thresh as well, and Zac does pick it up. He has gone under his cell division though. Nautilus is actually coming from behind, gets a nice ultimate, executes Whacked NZ's Corky, and is going to 1v1 the Zac at the moment. Zac gets a nice classic slingshot off, and Renekton comes in from the side. Nice slice and dice. Has still got a stun, and it looks like everyone else is going to get a wave. So a 2 for 1. And that was well played. Nice retaliation from 9th Legion Gaming after they got jumped on.
Definitely, and to a purple team getting out of there with fairly low health would have gotten better for 9th Legion, but either way, still good return considering that initial loss.
Yeah, most definitely. And you talked about it before, that Zac and Orianna wombo combo does so much damage. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and a perfect Nami ult just to top everything off. So it's really, really what they wanted. Perfect. They just need to, you know, work on their what they're doing after that, because that is their power move. And then they're kind of left a little tankless.
Nice play. Very nice play by both teams. I feel like this game is a lot more evenly matched than I expected just from the draft phase. I do have a lot of bias for the champion select screen. I'm of the belief that games can be won and lost in the pick and ban phase. But
Absolutely.
Very nice play from both teams so far, and even though they are
very low at back.
Yeah. Even though they are running a unconventional team comp, Hampocalypse have really shown like the power it has. So Corky's picked up that Bloodthirster. Elise is stepping towards Leandrin's and Rylai's Crystal Scepter, which I'm sure is very core on Elise by now. Orianna has finished her Athene's Unholy Grail and is sitting on a little bit of gold at the moment. I'm not sure what she's getting next. Ari has finished that DFG, so her power spike is now, so they're going to be looking for fights. And Nautilus is just tanking up. Looks like he's going to get a Bulwark next. I haven't seen the makings of a Bulwark yet for Hampocalypse. Do you feel like they need one against 9th Legion's team?
Possibly not. They're bringing both a lot of physical and magic damage, comparatively. Not so much physical damage coming out from blue team, purple team rather. So, I would get one anyway. That's not necessary.
And Ari's coming in.
And it's going to go down.
Yep, and let me just check. DFG was popped in that fight, so that increases all the magic damage done to her over the course of the fight. And it looks like Tristana might be picked off here. Wow, nice Lantern. Avoids the big missile coming out from Corky, which could have finished the Tristana. 200 HP? Maybe not. Very close though. And it looks like this dragon is going to go to 9th Legion Gaming. Well played, guys. Elise is split pushing top in the meantime. That turret in the top lane is quite healthy though. I feel like Hampocalypse is really suffering for these objectives. They're doing so brilliantly in the laning phase, but when it comes to turrets and dragons, they're just falling behind. What do you think they can do to bring that back?
Well, that fight, they didn't really have any presence from Elise. Not sure if Renekton was there, but they really need her to start making some plays with the team, and once she gets that top turret down, she'll be able to do that. She brings that engage, and she brings that strong burst damage, so that'll really help them.
Just checking, and it looks like Hampocalypse have grouped mid, 4 of their players, and they're going to take this turret away without too much problem. Nice bubble landed on the Oriana, and
Beautiful combos.
actually brings her back. And then the Wisp
actually
pick her up.
Ari getting that last hit with the wave.
Nice play. Zach doesn't have cell division and is going to die. So that was 1 for 1, but they also got a turret. Now Renekton is coming in from the side. Nice bubble from Nami just to stop any follow-up. Tristana is maybe coming to cut them off, actually. A nice buster shot could be the end of them. Is she going to jump
All
over?
of Hampocalypse's ults are down, and wow, that
buster shot.
Actually
Very nice.
hit her into the team.
Isolated the Nami, and free kill, basically. And it looks like 9th Legion Gaming are going to be sieging this turret. They don't have a creep wave at the moment, though the next wave that is coming... Oh no, sorry, I saw a turret minion. It's not this one, but the next wave has a turret minion to siege this turret.
Now that is actually a very tanky Elise. She got double grabbed there, both Nautilus and Thresh, but survived with, you know, a decent amount of health, so they're actually going to start thinking, she is very tanky. We need to work out how we can get some more damage on her.
Yeah, most definitely. So Elise has actually picked up a chain vest, and I wasn't expecting that. I was feeling like she would more pick up something towards Leandrin's or towards Rylai's. What would be the itemization, the item path that she will take with that Sunfire cape? Sorry, with that chain vest. Is it a Sunfire cape or?
That's almost definitely a Sunfire cape. It has fallen out of favor on her quite a bit. I don't get it anymore, but some people still do, and it's definitely working out in that stage because there is a lot of physical damage, as I said, from 9th Legion. Kept her alive there.
No, that makes
sense. It would be
sense.
very interesting to see where she goes after that and what boots she's planning to pick up. Is she going to go for the Sorcerer's Boots, try and burst that AD carry or Ari down? Or is she just going to be a full tanky Elise?
It'll be very cool to see once she's completed another item. And Elise is all alone in the top lane, and she doesn't have very many wards at the moment. And it looks like both Thresh and Ari were just like slightly roaming up towards her, so that could be trouble if she gets caught out.
Actually,
yep,
at the moment, 9th Legion have a hell of a lot of wards out in the enemy jungles, so they have huge vision on that top half of the map and even the bottom half. So they're just really looking to control the play at the moment.
Yeah, they want to. Actually, the Zac is going to get so caught out. Actually, Nami
And that
gets
is
caught out
exactly why. But she does live.
Wow, if she gets out of that, that's a huge bonus for Hampocalypse. Ari wasted DFG there as well, but no ults came out, or no summoner spells from 9th Legion Gaming came out to try to secure the kill on that Nami. So not too much blown there.
Red being stolen away does go to the Thresh, interestingly. Not sure if that was intentional, but they... Nope. 9th Legion are going to make play on
the blue buff now, yeah.
Blue buff as well.
Thresh comes over the wall. I thought the Tristana was unfriendly. Alright, so that was very brave. So Elise and Renekton are just dueling in the top lane. It looks like Elise doesn't even want to fight at the moment, which I guess is fair enough. She's sitting on quite a bit of gold, so she could... Oh, she's actually finished her Sunfire Cape, so I take that back.
But her and Renekton sitting on Sunfire. Very similar builds at the moment.
Elise actually has Haunting Guise compared to Renekton's 2 Doran's Blades and Merc Treads, so I feel like she has a little bit more of an advantage in a fight at the moment. Although Renekton's ultimate is pretty intimidating, so...
Yeah, she's also got those kind of the Haunting Guise will build into a late game, the Leandre's, whereas Renekton's not really going to do anything with those Dorans, obviously. So she is in a little bit of place looking forward to the late game.
Yeah, most definitely.
At the moment.
So I was going to ask, what do you feel like this Corki is going to pick up? He's got his Bloodthirster, he's got a Sheen. Is that going to be a Frozen Gauntlets? Are we going to see like a blue Corki? Or is that going to be a Trinity?
That would be very interesting. I have a feeling it's just going to be a Trinity, but I have tried a blue Corki or something similar, and it was quite effective. Very short cooldown on that ult. You can get that Frozen Gauntlet applying over and over and over. Very similar to his. I don't see it happening here, but it would be interesting.
It would be cool to see, but yeah. Tristana, on the other hand, has gone very standard items. Infinity Edge and Zeal. So that's going to be a Phantom Dancer into Last Whisper into a defensive item. So very, very standard, but it's tried and proven. It's going to be the maximum damage that Tristana can get out with that amount of gold. So a lot of people opt for a Bloodthirster or a Bulk first on Tristana, but that's being foregone, which is fair enough. And we're seeing a team fight here in the mid lane. Zac does have the ball on his head, so if he gets in on a group, we could see the Orianna Shockwave coming out. And actually, Zac gets caught out here. Probably not what he wanted at all. Orianna Shockwave does come out on the Nautilus and on the Thresh. So much damage going down. Renekton has gotten in the back line. He's getting onto the Orianna. It does get the exhaust though. Hyunji has jumped in and is looking to get the Corki. And Corki just gets blown up. Hyunji's actually got the Ignite on him and is going to go down to the Orianna's Ignite. And right now that is a 1-for-3 in favor of 9th Legion Gaming. And Nautilus is very low. At least he's in the back trying to get rid of the Nautilus, but is going to go down to a very nice jump from Dawei. And 9th Legion turned that in for a 1-for-4 with a very, very low HP Orianna running away. And that is going to be another Dragon for 9th Legion.
Absolutely massive, and they're going to get Dragon. Orianna extremely low, but all of 9th Legion, absolutely all of them. Actually, no, apart from Renekton, got very low there, so a little bit of focusing trouble. Could have worked out a lot better, but overall, very nice play by 9th Legion.
Oh my god, yes. And that all happened because Zac had charged up an Elastic Slingshot, decided not to go in on it, and turned around, and Nautilus was like, well, you've just wasted your cooldown. You don't have another way to get out of this other than flashing, so he hooked the Zac in, and basically they engaged on their terms instead of letting Zac jump on them, which is exactly what you want to do, really. So, nice play from the Nautilus, getting that dredge line onto the Zac and starting the fight. Just dictating how the game is going to be played.
Absolutely. And you always want to be in that driving seat. You want to be dictating the plays and making the opponent react to you. You don't want to be on the receiving end. So
Yeah.
really nice by them.
And I found it interesting. The People's Whispers also commented on chat. The Tristana just jumped straight in there. She didn't do a long range seed. Even though she's got quite a bit of range at the moment, she's sitting on I think about 650 at the moment. So she didn't bother with her range. She just jumped straight in and got in and got dirty, really. And we're seeing
and it did work out.
Another catch here. Nami is going to go down to this Tristana and Renekton, and Zac might go down as well. Conversely, on the other side, everyone is being zoned out. It looks like the Zac is just going to get 1v1'd by this Tristana, and 9th Legion Gaming is so much more grouped than Hampocalypse, and I think things are just falling apart from Hampocalypse at the moment. A nice Thresh hook over the wall, and Leviathan goes down as well, and this means that Baron is very much an objective, and 9th Legion are just going to continue this pain train.
Thresh does have that Oracles. He's not seeing the ward at the moment. They don't have a smite, so this is almost definitely going down to 9th Legion. Orianna getting caught out will go down.
Yeah. So Corki and Tristana 1v1.
Actually.
Who's going to take this one away? I have a lot of faith. Whoa! Hyunji making the plays and actually picks it up. He jumps over the rocket that would have surely killed him.
That was massive. He jumped over rocket and he actually flashed out of another rocket, I believe.
Making the plays. Challenge to level Tristana.
Huge.
And this Baron is going to be picked up and Zac actually comes up the wall and doesn't get the smite. And the Baron has gone to 9th Legion Gaming and Zac dies as well. And Hampocalypse are just falling over at the moment. They had such a solid game before this, but the game is slowly creeping away from them after a team fight into a bad Baron. And it looks like 9th Legion are definitely in the driver's seat, as you do say. And it looks like it is their game to lose at the moment. I have a lot of faith in Hampocalypse though. They could bring it back later on, but they really don't want to let Tristana and Ahri scale any more than they already have.
Definitely. At the moment, Ahri is sitting on quite a lot of assists, 10 assists, only 1 kill, so she's not as strong as she might be. So that is the good news for them. They're going to have to really be able to take out that Tristana, so they're going to be looking to go straight on her every fight. Nautilus is hugely tanky, so they also do need to look up to pick up those penetration items on Corki and Orianna as soon as they can.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
they can bring it back, but it's going to be hard.
They can. It's going to be such an uphill battle for them. They do get a blue buff onto Orianna, which is nice. A little bit of cooldown reduction. She's going to be able to throw out those balls a little bit more often than the team fight. They really need to buy a couple of oracles. They need to clear wards aggressively. They need to ward up their own jungle and force a team fight on their conditions. And I feel like that's the way they can bring themselves back into this game. And VSN on Thresh has actually picked up an oracles himself, and he is going around and clearing wards. And there is no oracles at all on Hampocalypse at the moment, and I feel like that's something they desperately need. If they want to bring this back, they need vision, and they need control of their side of the jungle at least. They need to be able to set up a death bush, as it were.
Definitely. They do have to find a way to be in the driving seat, but with such vision in their jungle, it's going to be really hard for them. They do need to pick up that oracles to try and regain a little bit of control. But they definitely cannot 5v5, so they are looking for that catch out.
God, this Thresh. If the spectator could just toggle through all the vision for both teams. Basically, BSN on Thresh just cleared every single ward that Hampocalypse had on the map. They're now on the map without wards, and they're being punished for it. Thresh has actually gone under the turret, taking quite a bit of damage. I think he might be able to walk away. Actually, Orianna Command Shockwave comes out, and Thresh does get executed, so there's one person without Baron buff.
Meanwhile, though, Tristana 1v1's Corky, and he goes down.
So quickly. Ari gets a nice charm onto this Elise. Has to pop her ult, though. Nautilus ult comes out as well on top of Leviathan. Elise is going to be okay, and Nautilus uses Dredgeline to get some distance. Meanwhile, Tristana and Renekton are split pushing, and they pick up 2 turrets for it. It looked like Hampocalypse were going to win that fight, but they lost 2 turrets for their work. And that's got
Really
to...
unfortunate.
Yeah.
And they've got to go and defend top lane now, but meanwhile, both bot lane and mid lane are pushing. They're going to lose something here. Zach getting very low. Tristana massive at the moment.
Yeah,
actually looking to build a Bloodthirster. Well, yeah, that'll be a Bloodthirster.
Or it could be a
Rather than that.
Scimitar, I think. It could be, we'll see. But yeah, it's because not any members of Hampocalypse have built armor items, or enough armor items to merit a last whisper.
Except for Elise, actually.
Yeah.
And a little bit from North. So yeah, she is just not even worried about that. Critting very hard. She's critting for 390 even against Zach.
And Ari comes up over the wall and completely executes Whacked NZ. He does go down with 1 Ari combo. Ari spirit rushing and on top of the team. Nice command shockwave to pick up the Tristana though. Bubble is on the Orianna, the Ari as well. Renekton, however, gets on top of the Orianna and 1 combos her. Zach's cell division has gone down, but there's no way he's going to survive the time it takes him to respawn. And it is a 1 for 4 at the moment. A Leviathan on Elise is the only member of Hampocalypse that is still alive. Doing some nice work. He does
flashes out of the grab.
Very, very nice flash away from that dredge line, which would have surely been his death. And that was 1 inhibitor, and first inhibitor of the game, going to 9th Legion Gaming. The score is 24
and actually, there is the surrender.
There is the surrender vote?
GG. Very well played by 9th Legion.
Very well played by both teams.
Absolutely.
There was a team fight in the mid lane at about the 20-minute mark, and at that point was when the game started falling in 9th Legion's favor. From there was a fight around Baron where both teams were a little bit split, but unfortunately Hampocalypse were a little bit more split than 9th Legion Gaming, and 9th Legion punished them for it. Both Tristana and Nautilus were able to get the Nami and then the Zac without any contest at all, and they were able to pick up Baron off the back of that, and it all went downhill from there. So well played by both teams, but 9th Legion were just a little bit more on spot with their objectives, and that's pretty much all the game is about. It's about those towers, it's about inhibitors, and it's about minions, and they knew exactly what they were doing.
And that was definitely aided by the fact that their team comp was very mobile. They're an extremely mobile team, so much disengage, so much engage, and it really worked out for them.
Yeah, very well played, very well drafted by both teams as well.
Definitely.
All right, guys, this was OCG Wait For It and EXS Shadow. I'm going to put his Twitch link into chat if you want to follow him after this game, and we're going to go into a break for a couple of minutes, and our next game is going to be Big World versus a team called Even His Teacher Calls Him Dr. Faggot, and that will be starting very shortly, so don't go anywhere, and we'll be back soon. Thanks, guys.